Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Mr. Payne bringing you a test recap. The last page of the test was not good. I have made a special review to go over the last 4 questions of the test, which was worth 15 points. Please copy these notes down on a separate sheet of paper and write a WSQ that includes 5 bullets of key information. This is not optional. The only people that it is optional for that got the back page right, and I will talk to you personally. The rest of you, we will be taking the back page on Wednesday and Thursday in lab class. So please make sure you have this done. If you do not have this done, you will not be able to retake the last page of this test. Thank you. The first problem is 8x squared minus 18x equals 0. I would like you to factor it to find the roots. So the first thing I have to do is find my GCF. What is the GCF between 8x squared and negative 8x? The GCF is going to give me 2x. So I'm going to divide by 2x, divide by 2x. I'm going to remember to put that 2x out in front of my parentheses. If you notice, I put my parentheses right here, so I can drop my answers right in. A lot of you are having a hard time with organization, so maybe this is a good strategy. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X squared minus x1 is x. Minus 18 divided by 2, which is 9. And my x's will cancel. I now have something I can tee up. I'm going to say 2x equals 0. And I'm going to say 4x minus 9 equals 0. Common mistakes that I saw, where I saw people trying to separate this 2 and this x by subtracting it to the other side. That is not correct. You want to divide by 2 over here. That says 2 times x, so I'm going to divide. X equals 0. On the right hand side, I'm going to add 9. And then divide by 4. I have 2 roots. The first root I have is x equals 0. The second root I have is 9/4. Same question. I'm asking you to solve this by factoring and then find the roots. My GCF, if I pay attention to 2 things, I have a lead coefficient which is greater than 1, so it's 2. So I'm banking on that 2, getting rid of that 2 by saying that's the GCF. And I also have an x back here behind this 42. It's a dead ringer. I also have a 3 up here. So I know that my GCF is going to be 2x. Notice I divided by 2x right away. I'm going to put 2x out in front. Same thing. I'm going to put nice big parentheses and I'm going to drop everything down. My 2's will cancel. X cubed divided by x squared, or x gives me x squared, minus 4x minus 21. Reminder that my x's cancel here. 42 divided by 2 is 21. I see that I have a trinomial inside still, so I'm going to say 2x. And now I'm going to do 2 parentheses, because I can keep factoring. X and x, minus and a plus. What times what gives me 21, subtracts to give me 4, and that is 7 and 3. I now have something that I can go ahead and tee up. I'm done factoring. I have 2x equals 0. X minus 7 equals 0. And x plus 3 equals 0. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 2. Plus 7. Plus 7. X equals 7. Minus 3. Minus 3. X equals negative 3. In this case, I have 3 roots. I have x equals 2, x equals 7, and x equals negative 3. In this case, nothing, I'm sorry, did I say that this was x equals 2? This is x equals 0 here. In this case, Nothing gets rejected. When it's asking you to solve for the roots, not saying a positive root, not saying a negative root, not telling you the area of anything, all three of these are your answers. You could have a root of x equals 0. You could have a negative 3 as a root. You can't have it as a sign of a length or a width. But, so just don't go and write reject. Think about what they're asking you to find first. Now we're on to a word problem. An area, a rectangle having an area of 20 inches squared has a length that is 6 less than twice its width. The length that is 6 less than twice its width. Area of 20 inches. All that is very important. So the first thing you want to do is set up my let statements. Let W equal my width. And let twice its width, so 2W, minus 6 equal my length. So my equation that I'm going to set up is going to be W times 2W minus 6 equals 20. Because the shape is a rectangle, and it says the area, so I know the area formula of a rectangle is length times width. So I have W times 2W minus 6 equals 20. So then I'm going to have W distributed in. We have 2W squared minus 6W equals 20. I want to have equals 0 on this side, so I'm going to take this 20 and move it over to the left. I'm going to do minus 20 on both sides. So I'm going to have 2W squared minus 6W minus 20 equals 0. Now when we get to this part of the problem, you have to take a look and see what I have. I have to notice that I have an A that is greater than 1, so I have to see if I can pull a GCF of 2, which I can. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. 2 out in front. I'm going to be left with W squared minus 6W, minus 3W, because I have to do 6 divided by 2, minus 10, all equal to 0. Now once I notice inside here, I still have a trinomial because I have a W squared here, so I know I can keep going and factor. I'm going to say 2 and a nice big parentheses. I'm going to have a W and a W, minus and a plus. What times what gives me 10, subtracts to give me 3. Well, if you said 5 and 2, you would be absolutely correct. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this on the left-hand side here. I have 2, parentheses, W minus 5, and W plus 2. Now I'm able to go ahead and tee it up. On the left-hand side here, I have 2 equals 0. That is what I can go ahead and reject. 2 cannot equal 0. In the middle, I have W minus 5 equals 0. I add 5 on both sides. I'll get W equals 5. On the right, I have W plus 2 equals 0, minus 2 on both sides. W equals negative 2. Now, this is a word problem. Can I have a width of negative 2? No, I cannot. I cannot have a width of negative 2, so I'm going to reject that one. What do I have? I have a width of 5. Now, how do I find my length? I go ahead and I plug it right back into here. So I'm going to do 2 times W, which is 5, minus 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 6 is going to give me 4. My length is going to give me 4. Last problem we have today is completing the square. So the first thing I want to do is box in my first two terms, because that's what I want to look to see if I can pull a GCF out of anything. I see a 2 out front, so most likely my GCF is going to be 2. So I'm going to divide not only the first two terms by 2. What do I have left? I have 2 out front. I have x squared minus 8x dash parenthesis dash plus 44. The second step that I have to look for is to see what my new b is. My new b is 8. A lot of you were pulling the 16. Be very careful. You always pull the new b. And I divide it by 2, and I square it. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16. But be careful. What did I really add? I have to do 2 times 16, which gives me 32. If I added 32 on the left-hand side, I have to subtract 32 on the right-hand side in order to keep it balanced. Now I can go ahead and factor it. I have the 2 out in front, break up my x squared, bring down my minus sign, and what times what gives me 16 adds to give me 8, and that's going to give me 4. You also had my 4 down here from 8 divided by 2, which is 4. A lot of kids bring that right up. Negative 32 plus 44 is going to give me a positive 12. On the test, it asks for several things. It asks for my shifts, it asks for my vertex, and it also wants to know is if it's going to be a positive, if it does it all of its shifts. So in this case, I'm going to go right 4, up 12. Those are my left horizontal and vertical shifts. My vertex is 4, positive 12. And I also want you to know that this 2 is telling me that it's going to open upward. Because it's a positive. But the 2 tells me that it's going to get a little bit more narrow. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message on Edmodo. I know Mr. O is out, and Miss Bell's, any of Miss Bell's kids, feel free to send me an email if you have any questions. I check it before I go to bed each night. So I want you to make sure that you know these 4 problems. You're going to take the test again, the back part of the test, that last page, and I'm going to add those points directly to your test. It's not going to be a test booster.